Well, these fabulous hats that Charlie and I are wearing didn't just materialize out of thin air. And of course, these fancy hats mean the Kentucky Derby is coming up. And we...
Either that or it just meant that we wanted to be,
a little fancy on a Monday.
Forward today.
It could mean that, but no, if you're getting ready to celebrate the Derby and all things, because there's lots of parties going on around our area as well, and you're gonna need a hat. You are going to need a hat. And we've got Traci Russell, the milliner. That is the new word that I learned behind these hats. Traci, introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers and how you came to create these beautiful hats and why you do it.
So my business is called Chapeaux by Traci. My lovely best friend is actually the one who came up with the name. I told her, I was like, you know, I've got so many people who are asking me to make these hats for them, which I was doing for charity events and making for pageant systems, both nationally and internationally, as well as state. And it just started to bloom and blossom more than I really thought it would.
Sure.
I thought it would just be kind of a hobby per se, and it's blown up over the last year. And I mentioned it to my best friend and my husband. I said, hey, you know, thinking about actually making a go of this, just kind of like a side hustle type of thing. And they both agreed. And I said, well, I need to come up with a name that's catchy. Yeah. So Terry came up with the name, and as soon as she said it, I was like, that's it. That's my name. So it blossomed literally from making competition hats for pageant systems to, again, doing for charity events, whether it's P31 or other events like that, in addition to international items and Kentucky Derby items. And my hats have been seen literally all over the world and have been purchased all over the world.
That's so amazing, turning something that was just sort of a passion project at the beginning into something bigger. Now let me focus a little bit specifically on the Derby right now. What makes for a good Derby hat in your mind?
So a Derby hat consists of three things. It is ribbons or tulle, flowers, feathers, or any other little tchotchkes that you may want to have, or adornments, you know, such as butterflies or
the Maryland flag, for example.
Yes, my Maryland flag. Also, with the Kentucky Derby, you also have different styles. So you really have to choose what fits your personality. You want to feel comfortable. You want to feel confident in what you're wearing. And that's both men and women, of course, in what you wear, which, by the way, you guys both look lovely in these. Yes,
well, it all has to do with the hat.
Yes, it does. Somebody gives me an idea of what they want, and I'm all for it. And I've learned new skills as I go, and that's the best thing is, you know, I get better and better as I go.
Yeah. I also love too that in a lot of cases, you know, the hat is the focal point of the outfit and the launching point for the rest of the outfit to go with it.
Absolutely. The Kentucky Derby tradition is that you choose your hat and then everything else is the accessory to it versus vice versa, where everybody thinks your jewelry and your hat and your shoes are the focal point or the accessories. That's not the case. I've said pageant before, but literally the Kentucky Derby is a pageantry.
Sure.
It is all glitz and glamour, and it's not just for high society like it used to be when it first came out. It is now for everybody. And the more wild and crazy and flamboyant the hats are, the better.
Yes.
And this is not, when you buy a hat, it's not the time to budget per se.
Sure.
Okay? People are like, oh, I want a $30 hat that I can get off of Amazon. Well, I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but the Kentucky Derby is when you really want to just go all
The Derby's about
out.
the opulence of the event.
Yes.
So
Yes.
A touch ostentatious.
And the women wanting to make sure that, you know, they showcase and that they're a showstopper there. And it's amazing that, like, in the 1800s when it first started, you had My Fair Lady, but it was really the 60s and the 70s that brought out everything, where it really got amazing, and people are like, you know what, I want to be out there, and that's what.
And be a part of it, and be seen, and,
yes,
and make a statement with the headwear that you're going with.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Well, we know that lots of parties and events and Kentucky Derby themed things are going on around the area. So if people are seeing these gorgeous hats and they're like, got to get my hands on them, how do they get in touch with you, Traci, for Chapeaux de Traci?
Well, they're more than welcome to email me at chapeaubytraci@yahoo.com, or my personal phone number, which I hope that you guys will go ahead and have out there. And then also I am located on Facebook as well. I actually have a current contest going on. I am almost at 1,000 followers since I opened the page less than 6 months ago. With this contest, the person who is the 1,000th person, in addition to whoever it is that referred them to me, so that could be you guys.
Okay,
if they say, hey, we heard you on
Just remember, you heard it here first.
Yes,
we're
remember,
just
Leah and Charlie told you.
They will each get a $20 credit towards my hats. And my hats are reasonably priced. I pride myself on working on anybody's budget, on whatever, making them reasonably priced, not, thousands of dollars, which by all means, some of the ones that are $1,000 are definitely worth it. However, I like to make sure that my clients are able to afford it so they can feel the best that they can feel in their hats. Yes. In their chapeaux.
Of course. Well, Traci, thank you so much for coming in today and bringing us and letting us wear these gorgeous hats, as well as showing off all the ones that you have before us. It's definitely going to make for a fun Derby season.
Well, these are my gift to you.
Stop!
Thank you so much.
So, thank you for letting me be on here. Please enjoy your pork pie hats and enjoy your wide brim hat that I made exclusively for you for that pink dress that I saw you in.
You're the sweetest. Oh my gosh. Well, now you've got your hats, and maybe you need a place to wear them. We're not done talking the Kentucky Derby and the events going on in our area. We've got more to share when CoastLife gets back.